$638,000.
Yeah, I have $800,000 loan now.
I owe $598,000.
I owe $680,000.
I owe $650,000. Yeah, $650,000. Yes.
When we said we were willing to do all that is needed, we meant it. We have been here for 32 days. We have shut down bridges. We are going on a hunger strike. There is nothing that we will leave unturned, no stone unturned, because what is being asked to be risked by these drivers is life and death.
Most of the medallion owners, they are like the immigrant, 95% are new immigrant. Now we have lost everything. Now we are the American nightmare now. We have a dream before, we are the American dream. Now we are American nightmare now.
The city advertised this as a ticket to the middle class life. They sold it in a way that was very appealing to immigrants, to people who speak another language, for people who really wanted to buy. It was advertised as buying a piece of New York.
My father unfortunately passed away 6 years ago, and left me with the New York City taxi medallion as well as a $530,000 loan. And he ended up just telling me how much he loved owning a piece of New York. He's just so proud of having this, and he knew that a piece of New York will be his interest to the middle class.
As the daughter of a taxi medallion driver and owner, I've seen intimately how the medallion crisis has changed over the past decade. I've seen how my father has struggled, working over 14-hour days just to make ends meet, to pay our bills, and to send me to school. In 2002, taxi medallions were worth about $200,000. But at the same time, New York City was facing over a $4 billion budget shortfall, in which the city was looking for a way to raise the revenue to close that gap. The way that they did this was to auction off over 1,000 medallions to many New Yorkers who thought that this was a ticket to a line of equity, a personal asset, and a ticket to middle-class life here in New York City. But many of the lenders who were involved in the medallion auctions were predatory, working off of working-class New Yorkers who couldn't understand a lot of the terms that were involved in many of these agreements. By the time 2014 rolled around, the values of taxi medallions skyrocketed to over $1 million. At the same time, around 2011 or 2012, e-hail services like Uber and Lyft were being introduced into New York City, but they were completely unregulated. So while the city was placing caps on the number of yellow taxi cabs that could operate in New York City, there was no cap on Uber and Lyft.
It's fair? I don't think so it's fair. They stole for us, miss, everything. My husband was 65. He didn't reach the retire. I feel sorry for him. He's gone. We have a wonderful life together. We just make a living, nice living. It's all. We don't want to get rich. And those people, they make us, they want everything they destroy for us. They want money.
My father purchased a medallion for about $245,000 with 12% interest. So now the medallion is about, I want to say he owed about $600,000 before he had filed for bankruptcy.
My brother Kenny Chow, unable to pay the mortgage, and he's struggling, he's devastated, and he lost all the retirement, he lost the investment, so he cannot make money, and he committed suicide near the Gracie Mansion, the Mayor de Blasio home, East River. This crisis, a city, they make the bubble, they create a bubble, they bust the bubble. So we need this, the city and the TLC commissioner, they have to fix the crisis. The city and TLC, they put on the bandage on the gun holders. It's not the real solution. So we need a real solution.
Under the city's plan, banks could stand to gain even more profit, even though our city has already regulated over $855 million in profit from drivers already. It's not a debt relief plan. It's a bailout plan from the banks who don't care about real debt relief and dignity for drivers.
When bank calls you, you don't have the money to pay, and you live with your family, and you don't know, there's no money for your food and clothes for your kids, and the bank keep calling you. It's very, you cannot sleep during the night. That's how difficult it is. We have to do anything, hunger strike, anything to make sure the city understand our cause.
This is a workforce that has been so super exploited. There has been such a sense of despair among the drivers. And so to see drivers get past the suicides and the bankruptcies and all the heart attacks and the strokes and the utter level of despair and depression, to now being on the streets, refusing to leave until justice is won, having the courage to shut down a bridge in the middle of a morning rush hour, it's thrilling. It's workers taking back control over their life.
We don't want the mayor to pass this on to a new administration coming in 2022. What we need to do is have him in his last 83 days or 82 days in office, make sure he includes a city-backed guarantee to the federal funds that were secured for this type of debt relief. If Mayor Bill de Blasio and our city government align with the New York Taxi Workers Alliance plan and put it to work, that could mean a transformational change for my family and thousands more across our city.